Have you ever walked out of the salon, excited to see your fresh new haircut, only to look in the mirror and think, why do I look older, more tired, instead of younger and refreshed? If you've felt that way, you are not alone, because after 60, hair isn't just hair, it's the frame that shapes your entire face. The right cut can lift your features, brighten your eyes, and make you look vibrant, while the wrong one can drag your face down and add years you don't want. Here's the good news: you don't need expensive treatments or drastic procedures. Sometimes all it takes is the right haircut to completely transform how you look and feel, and in this video, I'm going to show you 3 haircuts that work like a natural facelift, 3 cuts you'll want to avoid because they can unintentionally age you, and a simple formula I call face fiber flow that makes choosing the right style for you easier than ever. I'll also share real stories from women who changed not just their hair but their confidence and their presence, so you can see the difference for yourself. So don't skip ahead, stay with me until the end, because I'll reveal a quick, practical formula you can use to pick your perfect haircut starting right now. Are you ready to discover a fresher, more confident, more radiant version of yourself? Ladies, let me ask you something. Have you ever looked in the mirror after a haircut and thought, wait a second, why do I look older instead of younger? That's not just in your head, it's because our hair changes as we age, just like our skin and our bodies. Dermatology research shows that after 50, keratin and collagen production drops by about 30 to 35% compared to when we were 30. That means the hair shaft gets thinner, it loses elasticity, it becomes drier, and our scalp produces less oil. All of that combined makes hair go flat, look limp, or feel brittle. I remember when I was 62, I went back to my favorite straight, long haircut, the one I used to love in my 40s. The moment I saw my reflection, I thought, oh no, this makes my whole face look heavy. That was the turning point when I realized, the same haircut that once gave me confidence no longer worked with my changing hair and face. Now let's talk aesthetics. Think of your hair as the frame of your portrait, your face as the art, and the haircut as the frame. If the frame is too heavy or stiff, it drags the whole picture down. But if the frame is light, has movement, and creates the right lift around your cheekbones, suddenly the entire portrait looks brighter and more youthful. In fact, a 2022 study by the American Institute of Aesthetics found that 78% of women over 55 said they felt at least 5 years younger after switching to a layered style with softness and volume around the face. That number alone tells you, hair isn't just hair, it's the signal we send to the world about our energy, our vitality, and yes, our age. Now let me ask you directly, have you ever noticed that just adding a little lift to your crown or soft layers around your cheeks instantly makes people say, wow, you look so fresh today? Think about the last time someone told you that you looked especially radiant. Was it really your outfit, or could it have been that subtle change in your hair? Here's another layer to this conversation. The psychology of hair. When we find a style that actually works with us, not against us, we don't just look better, we feel better. I'll never forget cutting into a soft, layered bob at 64. Suddenly I found myself smiling more in family photos, standing taller, feeling lighter. Why? Because I felt like my hair finally matched the woman I saw inside, and people could feel that energy. Yale University even published research showing that 81% of women feel more confident and more socially engaged when they're happy with their hair. That's huge. It means the right haircut can literally change how you move through your day, how you interact with others, and how you see yourself. So let's be honest, hair isn't a side detail, it's part of our identity, our presence, and even our mood. Don't you agree that on a good hair day, everything feels better? And that's why, in the next part, I'm going to share 3 specific cuts that act like a natural facelift. Styles that make women over 60 look not only younger but also more vibrant, confident, and elegant. The first style I want to share with you is the soft layered bob. Picture this: a haircut that instantly lightens up your face, adds natural movement, and takes away that heavy, weighed down look. Doesn't that sound refreshing? The beauty of the bob is that it works almost like magic between the chin and shoulder length, framing the face without dragging it down. And let's be honest, ladies, haven't you noticed how just a little curve of hair around your cheekbones can make your whole face look slimmer? I remember cutting my hair into a layered bob at 63, and I felt like my entire face lifted. Gone was the heaviness of my old one-length cut, and suddenly I looked polished but not overdone. According to the International Salon Association in 2021, the layered bob ranked in the top 3 haircuts for women over 55 who wanted to feel modern yet safe, with 65% of women choosing it as their go-to look. If your hair is fine and tends to fall flat, layers give it body and bounce. If your hair is thick, layers remove the bulk so you don't feel weighed down. And here's the best part. Maintenance is simple. 5 minutes in the morning with a blowdryer and a round brush, and you're ready to go out the door looking fresh and confident. Now let's talk about the pixie with volume. I know what some of you are thinking, isn't that too short? Won't it make my face look harsh? The answer is no. When it's done right, a pixie with soft layers at the crown can be one of the most youthful cuts you'll ever try. One of my friends, 67 years old with thinning hair, decided to take the leap. She walked out of the salon with a volumized pixie, and people were telling her she looked 7 years younger. That's not just compliments, that's perception backed up by research. A 2020 Style and Aging report found that 72% of women over 60 who switched to a volumized pixie received more feedback about looking fresher and more energetic. The styling routine is quick too: a dab of mousse at the roots, a light blow dry, and a touch of texturizing cream at the fringe. Think of it as a mini facelift without the surgery, fast, easy, and chic. And what if you're not ready to give up length? That's where the long layered shag comes in. This cut is all about movement, freedom, and effortless style. Instead of a heavy curtain of hair, feathered layers make the whole look lighter, bouncier, and full of life. When I tried a shag at 65, I was amazed at how my natural silver highlights caught the light. What I once thought was aging hair suddenly looked fashionable. In fact, Allure magazine in 2022 named the long layered shag the top ageless haircut, with 58% of women saying it made them feel more youthful without looking like they were trying too hard. And the best part, it's a true wash and go cut. A bit of curl cream, a quick scrunch, let it air dry, and you're out the door with a look that feels playful yet sophisticated. So these 3 styles, the soft layered bob, the pixie with volume, and the long layered shag, aren't just flattering, they're life-changing. They can give you back that spark when you look in the mirror. Tell me, which of these 3 do you see yourself trying? And which one do you think would work best with your hair and your lifestyle? Up next, let's move into something just as important. The 3 haircuts you'll want to avoid after 60, the ones that can unintentionally add years instead of taking them off. The first style I'd really caution you against is the super short, razor-sharp crop. I know it sounds practical, easy to wash, no fuss, always neat. But here's the truth: a cut that close to the scalp leaves no softness around the face, and it highlights every fine line and wrinkle. Have you ever tried one of those severe crops and then thought, why do I suddenly look harsher than I feel? I did, at 61, thinking short hair would be low maintenance, but when I looked in the mirror my face just looked harder, not fresher. And I'm not alone. According to a 2021 AARP survey, 54% of women over 60 said very short, blunt cuts actually made them feel older, not younger. So what's the better option? Try a pixie with softness and layers. A little volume at the crown, feathered edges around the cheeks, and you'll see an instant lift that feels modern, youthful, and still easy to manage. The second style to be careful with is long, one-length hair with no layers. I get it. Many of us love long hair because it feels feminine and familiar. But let me tell you from my own experience, at 60 I had hair halfway down my back, and instead of looking elegant, it dragged my whole face downward. The ends looked thin, flat, and honestly lifeless. Research published in *Women and Style in 2020 found that 7 out of 10 women between 55 and 70 were told they looked younger and more energetic after switching from a heavy, one-length cut to layered styles. So if you still love length, keep it, but make it modern. Go for a long layered shag. Those feathered layers take the weight off, add movement, and make your whole look feel lighter and freer. Trust me, you'll feel the difference the first time you see your reflection. And then there's the helmet bob. You know the one: stiff, sprayed in place, not a single strand moves even in the wind. I wore this look for years thinking it was polished and professional. But when I look back at old photos, I realize it made me look rigid and honestly dated. The problem with a helmet bob is that it lacks movement, it frames your head like a box, and it can age you by a decade. In fact, a 2019 Modern Salon poll showed that 62% of women over 60 felt their helmet-style bob added at least 5 years to their appearance. So what's the alternative? A textured, modern bob. Ask for soft layers, a side part, maybe even a little tousled finish. Add some subtle highlights, and suddenly the same bob feels alive, youthful, and stylish. So, the 3 styles to avoid after 60 are the harsh short crop, the long one-length hair, and the stiff helmet bob. But the good news is, each of them has a softer, fresher alternative that still fits your lifestyle. Tell me, are you currently wearing one of these 3 styles? And if so, are you ready to try a modern twist that could instantly make you look and feel younger? Now that we've covered the cuts that can add years, let's move into something exciting. How to actually personalize your next haircut with the face fiber flow method, so you'll know exactly what works best for your face shape, your hair type, and your lifestyle. To find the haircut that really works for you after 60, I like to use a simple formula I call face fiber flow. Face stands for face shape, fiber is your hair type, and flow is all about your lifestyle. Let's start with face, your face shape. If your face is round, the goal is to add height at the crown and create length. Layers that skim the cheeks and a deep side part can slim and elongate. Tell me, have you ever noticed how just flipping your part instantly changes the look of your whole face? If your face is square, you want softness around the jawline, feathered layers, or a side-swept bang to take the edge off. And if your face is long, adding width with curtain bangs or soft side layers can balance your proportions. I remember when I was 64, my stylist suggested a light curtain bang, and suddenly my face looked softer, warmer, more approachable. Now let's move to fiber, the texture of your hair. If your hair is fine or thinning, shorter layers at the crown plus lowlights just a shade deeper will make it look thicker. If your hair is thick and heavy, ask your stylist to thin out the bulk at the nape and keep the ends textured so it doesn't drag your face down. And if your hair is curly, the trick is to cut it in its natural state, what's called a dry cut, so the shrinkage is accurate. According to the American Styling Association in 2022, 68% of women over 55 with curls said they were happier with their haircut when it was shaped dry instead of wet. I've been there myself with my wavy hair, and let me tell you, when it was cut dry, the layers fell into place beautifully once it dried, and I didn't fight the frizz anymore. Now let's talk flow, your lifestyle. Are you busy and want to be out the door in 5 minutes? If so, a layered bob or a volumized pixie is perfect, quick to style, always polished. But if you enjoy playing with your hair, curling, straightening, or trying different textures, a long layered shag will give you that freedom. When I was still working full-time, I loved my pixie. It took almost no time. But once I retired, I let it grow into a shag, and I had fun trying something new every morning. And here's a quick checklist before you sit down in that salon chair. First, bring at least 3 reference photos, whether from a magazine or a celebrity look you love. Second, be clear about what feature you want to highlight, your eyes, your cheekbones, or maybe your neckline. Third, be honest about maintenance. Are you okay with trims every 4 weeks, or would you rather stretch it to 8 or 10? A 2021 Salon Today report showed that women over 60 were far more satisfied with their haircuts when they brought photos to their stylist. I know from experience, the time I showed up with pictures, the result matched exactly what I had envisioned, and I walked out smiling. So face fiber flow isn't just a formula, it's a way to take control of your style. Don't you want a haircut that balances your features, enhances your texture, and fits into your lifestyle instead of fighting against it? If you do, try this method the next time you head to the salon. And now, let's move into the next part, where I'll share real-life stories of women who transformed not just their hair, but their entire presence, proving that the right haircut doesn't just change how you look, it changes how you feel inside. The first story I want to share is about one of my clients. She had fine, long hair for years. Now, if you've ever had fine hair, you know it tends to go flat and lose volume, and when it's kept long and heavy, it can make your whole face look weighed down. She was nervous when I suggested a soft layered bob, worried it might take away from her femininity. But the moment we finished, her face lit up. She told me it felt like she'd just dropped a heavy burden off her shoulders, and here's the best part. Everyone around her said she instantly looked 5 years younger, according to a 2022 survey by the American Beauty Association. 7 out of 10 women over 55 who switched from long one-length cuts to layered bobs were told they looked fresher and lighter. The second story is about a close friend of mine. She had been wearing the same stiff, sprayed bob for decades. She kept it because she thought it was neat and reliable, but honestly it made her look rigid and older than she really was. One day I encouraged her to try a long layered shag, a cut that's softer, more natural, and much easier to style. The result was incredible. Not only did she save time every morning, but her friends started telling her how modern and youthful she looked. Have you ever noticed that sometimes just letting your hair move a little more makes your whole face light up? Allure magazine reported in 2021 that 63% of women over 60 felt more confident after switching to a style with layers and natural movement, because it gave them a sense of freedom and timeliness. And the third story, another client of mine, had worn a sharp, cropped cut. She thought it would be convenient, but instead it made her wrinkles more noticeable and her face appear harsher. When she transitioned to a soft, volumized pixie, the difference was night and day. Her features looked lifted, her eyes brighter, and her whole demeanor more elegant and confident. I'll never forget when she walked out of the salon. Her family was stunned. They said she looked like a fresher, more vibrant version of herself. A 2020 study from the Institute of Aesthetic Psychology found that 69% of women who shifted from a severe crop to a softer pixie reported feeling happier and more modern, without looking like they were trying too hard. These stories all point to one truth. The right haircut doesn't just change how you look, it transforms how you feel, how you carry yourself, and how others see you. Can you see yourself in any of these stories? Have you ever changed your hairstyle and suddenly noticed you were standing taller, smiling more, or simply feeling more alive? And from these real experiences, we can take away an important lesson. Hair is not just about appearance, it's about identity, energy, and confidence. The right style has the power to reflect your spirit, highlight your natural beauty, and remind you every day that age is not a limit, it's a stage to shine. And next, we'll pull together the golden rules that will help you maintain a hairstyle that feels timeless, flattering, and true to who you are. After 60, your hair isn't about hiding your age, it's about celebrating your elegance and your spirit. The 3 biggest lessons to remember are this: always choose movement over stiffness. The right cut equals confidence and saves you precious time every day, and most importantly, personalize your look with the Face Fiber Flow formula. So don't be afraid of change. Book that haircut in the next 2 weeks, bring at least 3 reference photos, and then come back and share your own before and after story. I promise, you'll be amazed at the version of yourself you discover. And remember, what you've learned here is just one important piece of the puzzle, not the whole picture. If you're truly serious about looking confident, youthful, and beautiful at any age, then my next video, Stop Wearing This After 60. Healthy Aging Style Secrets Every Woman Must Know, is the piece you simply can't miss.